The guy who taught a monkey to play Minecraft and built the universe in-game has now decided to take it even further. He created the entire multiverse, countless Earths, alternate realities, and space-time. We're discussing Chris Dalkle, who achieved something remarkable with scientific principles and even invited a student of Stephen Hawking. He divided everything into 5 levels. The first focused on Earth and its endless variations, and will go all the way to level 5, which will be an entire multiverse, with wormholes, black holes, and all their possibilities. The plan's first phase is to build every possible Earth in the multiverse. Along with adding vastness to Minecraft, we'll focus on details too. From tiny planets to the branching timeline trees seen in almost every multiverse movie. And now we start small, adjusting continents and changing the colors of the oceans to simulate different chemical compositions from what we're used to. Chris tested more than a dozen different versions, adjusting continents, oceans, and habitability. For each version, he created many more combinations of possible Earths in the multiverse. Some possible to survive, others not, and some more or less in case you're one of those immortal and ultra-resistant bacteria. And inspired by a short film here on YouTube, he also made an Earth with a real science fiction vibe, with rings similar to Saturn's. At that moment, he faced a challenge. Minecraft could only load 4 of the massive Earths he was building at once, even with chunk rendering maxed at 48. So after taking a break to think and teach Kwanzi a bit more about how to play Minecraft, Chris decided to recruit a game developer to implement the best chunk optimization mods, managing to load an impressive 725 chunks. Imagine playing your survival game, relaxing, and seeing the Earth stretch out flat and endless. Kree advances to levels 2 and 3, mastering 2 planets and the solar system. Having already built the solar system, he chose to focus on Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter is 1,400 times larger than Earth and nearly 3 times bigger than all other solar system planets combined. So even if he installed all chunk enlargement mods, he couldn't take that proportion literally. So because of that, he decided to make Jupiter only, in quotes, 10 times bigger than Earth. He started exploring possibilities where he could be completely covered by ocean water, bringing a different vision of Jupiter than what we're used to. With extreme attention to detail, he creates perfect blues, atmospheric effects, and even adds clouds and a hurricane. And to complement this masterpiece, Chris introduces the idea of the rings, which was about to get much more complicated in the next creation he would make. A planet inspired by J1407b. For those who don't know, J1407b is a colossal planet that easily surpasses our Saturn, boasting a ring system 200 times larger than Saturn's. Developing this project was going to be especially difficult, and so to make things a bit easier, Chris slightly reduced the scale of the planet itself so he could focus on the rings. The problem is that, even so, if he wanted to build each layer of the ring, he would still spend 3 months just on that part of the project, which would seriously affect his personal life and the frequency of the channel. That must be why he's single, right? Minecraft is better than a girlfriend, but anyway, jokes aside, this is when he gets a clever idea. He creates one slice of the ring and duplicates it to form the circular structure. Although he made his job easier, the process still required marking, coloring, and shading over 200 individual ring slices, which for sure was not easy at all. The ring system around planet J1407b is the largest structure he has built in Minecraft. Honestly, for someone like him, that's no small feat. And the thing is, for him to complete the construction of a solar system, he obviously needs a star. But he decides not only to do that, but to make a triple star system. He travels to a huge observatory in the middle of nowhere just to meet an astronomer from San Diego State University. That's true dedication even for a YouTuber. Together, they use powerful telescopes to collect data that could help build stars in Minecraft. As Chris manipulates game elements and considers the endless possibilities, he reflects on the vast universe they are exploring, specifically mentioning observing M15, a cluster of 100,000 stars. Good thing he didn't pick that for the solar system, or we'd be watching this video next century. After much study, he decides to invest in building the triple star system. Kree starts with a red supergiant, describing its immense scale. We realize the effort involved when we learn he spent a week just coloring, lighting, and adding patterns to mimic solar rays. Painting the star's surface took 2 more days, and the same process was repeated for the other 2, though they were slightly smaller. And after finishing the 3 stars of the solar system, he decided to add another element to diversify the project. a dwarf planet orbiting dangerously close to the red giant, melting and reversing time due to its proximity. The result was one of the best textured and lit Minecraft builds I've seen, perfectly conveying what he intended with each part. The solar system's completion starts the next phase. Exploring black holes and wormholes at level 4, Chris begins constructing a basic wormhole with a funnel shape and spiral galaxy texture, most likely based on the things he saw through the telescope. And with the intention of making the black hole look more realistic, since it's a complicated thing to imagine for three-dimensional beings like us, he adopts a method of painting the black hole entirely with light to highlight each beam, complemented by a bunch of colorful stars, resulting in a swirling cosmos effect, very much in the style of Interstellar. Just what we'd expect from a black hole. But he decided not only to build a black hole, which is already a pretty complicated concept, but to merge it with a white hole, which is a hypothetical concept of an exit from a tunnel that connects two regions of space-time. If a black hole is an entrance that transports you elsewhere in the universe, a white hole is the exit, and you could only reach it by entering through the black hole. And I know that explaining it like this, it's pretty hard to understand, but in the end, it will make a lot of sense. The next step was to add color to the portal, starting with a hot white plasma and transitioning to a cooler orange. A 3D effect was used to mimic certain swirling gases. To finish level 4, he copies the black hole structure, paints the sphere white, and inverts the colors, creating a perfect theoretical white hole replica for the wormhole concept. At level 5, professionalism peaks as Chris introduces Seth, and Massachusetts Institute of Technology quantum physicist and former student of Stephen Hawking. At level 5, the idea is to explore the branching realities of time in the quantum multiverse, setting up an in-depth exploration. The problem is that the idea of a multiverse in a theoretical field is basically associated with it being infinite and having infinite possibilities. So how would he represent infinity within a square game? To create this visual metaphor, he found a scientifically reliable source called Marvel. He imagines a branching tree where time goes up, and each branch represents a possible story, unfolding into entire spatial universes. If I'm not mistaken, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness basically showed this with the branches, portals, and everything else. He tried to add that to Minecraft, and it took him 3 days to figure out how to do it recognizably. It's truly infinite and complex. He began by making 4 tree sizes, a task that took over a week. After getting an idea, Chris decides to push the concept further. Chris chooses to create a cosmic forest, with each tree symbolizing a universe that branches into every possible outcome instead of just one tree. Before starting this major project, since he's serious, our hero chooses to explore the real-world aspect of universe splitting. He flies to Massachusetts Institute of Technology to meet Seth, who explains in the quantum lab how electron splitting lets an electron exist in 2 places at once despite being counterintuitive. The experiment uses a laser to split the universe into 2 branches, where ions appear light and dark, illustrating the real world and a quantum split. As Chris puts paper in the quantum lab, scientists observe the universe undergoing this splitting process. The experiment's conclusion gave him all the motivation needed to finish his own project. With the tree finished, he could finally say he built the multiverse in Minecraft. Amazing result. God did this in 6 days and rested on the 7th, so God 1, atheists 0. But congratulations to Chris the Cow. The guy is really awesome. He's almost like a mix between Jazz Ghost and Vinicius Trezzi. And hold on, that's not all, because he was responsible for building the entire universe to scale inspired by the movie Interstellar. Piozinho responded to everything, so let's see with him how this incredible project turned out.
And today we're going to see the guy who created the planet in Minecraft. Just so you have an idea, I've been trying to make a bread farm for about 2 months. The guy created the planet.
2 months to make a bread farm is kind of a joke, but we're really not here to judge anyone. The main point is that everyone here is a noob compared to Chris.
The channel EIMINE, which by the way really deserves a like, man. The guy is awesome, his videos, let's watch them. And it was the most requested video by you guys in the comments, right?
In the world of Minecraft, we are the masters of our own journey and our own destiny. Every house, building, and mob farm we build.
Mob farms. I've never managed to make a farm. I'm still trying to make a bread farm to this day.
They make us feel more powerful. Now imagine how Chris the Cow felt after building the entire universe inside the game.
What? Wait, he didn't just build planet Earth, he built the entire universe? No, wait. This guy probably hasn't taken a shower in at least a year and a half, man.
The journey of the man who literally became God begins with a complete analysis of the globe. He uses measuring tapes, design software programming, and a lot of talent for that. And initially, the first planet to be built will clearly be our beloved Earth.
He began with Earth, the easiest one. Because, for those of you who don't know much about planets, Earth is the smallest planet on the continent that we have. There are several planets on the continent in this world, and Earth is the smallest. Look, if you don't love me...
I'm not sure what he meant, but life goes on. What matters is that he understands himself. He wants to create every detail perfectly, including the exact locations of continents, seas, deserts, and forests. In addition, all the exact colors of these places were also included to give the project more authenticity. Earth alone took at least 3 full days of work. Now...
Well, 3 days of work, huh? To create the whole planet? 3 days just to create the globe itself, planet Earth, which is easy. Each second of this video makes me feel like a loser. It took me 3 days just to build a house.
But Piozinho had a somewhat distorted view of reality if he really thought that planet Earth would be the easiest. But now, regarding the house, honestly I agree. Most Minecraft players' first house was just digging 3 blocks down and covering the top. If you're already building something, even if it takes 3 years, it's all profit. From that detail, Chris realized everything he planned could be possible. Lighting is essential to keep the project realistic.
All of this I'm seeing here is block. No, right? This is Marvel computer-generated imagery, not DC, correct?
Beautiful thing, huh?
At this point in the game, our home, or rather planet Earth, was already finished. All that remains are the other billions of planets in the universe.
No, he didn't make all the planets. No. This guy is basically the Einstein or god of Minecraft.
Chris recalled that in our galaxy, the universe contains not only giant celestial bodies, but also smaller ones. Actually, some of them are even tiny.
Wow, is that the square planet SpongeBob lives on?
Many of them are 700,000 times smaller than Earth. Seriously, it's so small that if we traveled there, it would only take us 5 days to walk across the entire surface of the star.
Wow, man, it takes 5 days to travel across the whole planet.
Things are about to get more complicated. That's because our warrior decided to start building some celestial bodies that have a tilted structure. That means he'll have to build and color in an unpleasant or even better crooked way.
Joãozinho123 asks, did he use creatine? No, not creatine, man.
Did he use Creativo?
I think both. Creativo for building everything and creatine for strength and focus to keep going. He's truly an example for us all. Thanks for the reminder. I forgot my creatine today, which became a big issue when he started designing Saturn. Chris spent an entire day just to create the planet's ring.
The whole day just to create the ring. What's that about? With him, man.
Besides that, another interesting fact is that our warrior had to do some calculations to complete certain constructions. And because of that, he even had to relearn the Pythagorean theorem.
He did. Ah, man, I didn't even learn it back in school, let alone to make a video. What is the Pythagorean theorem? I don't even know him. That's what's crazy.
One of the most famous ones.
Study, kids, study. Seriously, you don't want to end up as some bum YouTuber begging for likes. Study, guys.
No, don't study. Do you think Piozinho knows the Pythagorean theorem? Probably not. He earns more than any salaried worker in Brazil. Asking for likes is minor. Plus, you can be a YouTuber and study simultaneously. Chris is proof of that. It's rare but possible. After that, Chris immediately started building the gas planets. They are the densest in our solar system, being the 3rd and 4th largest in the Milky Way. Also,
man, how did he do it? Yeah. To make... I would have to know a lot about Minecraft to understand what's going on here, but it doesn't make sense how he did it, man. This is just crazy.
We're talking about Uranus and Neptune. After them, our warrior decided to go even harder and went for massive energy, thousands of times greater than any other planet he had built before. This time, we're talking about the Sun. At first, the YouTuber was scared by the challenge that this task presented to him. After much study and analysis, he took the risk. For this star, the goal was to make it look like a kind of radioactive globe of death. Chris not only used Minecraft's brightest blocks, but also added fire effects to the star.
Man, that's what I mean. Something's different. It doesn't just look like Minecraft. He seems... I can't explain it. The word is on the tip of my tongue. But it seems like this guy, he put a lot of care into making this planet. But there are a lot of things here that are surreal, like how does the guy wake up early in the morning and say something like this? There's nothing to do. I'll just go and build a planet in Minecraft. Then he says, oh no, a planet is too easy. I'll make the universe. Then Vinicius Jr. comes in and says, am I a joke to you?
Building massive structures by hand wasn't feasible. Builders typically use mods and 3D modeling software in-game, but this doesn't diminish the player's credit. Because I doubt anyone out there could make such a perfect 3D simulation of the universe even outside of Minecraft. He not only did that, but also adapted it in a blocky game. It's definitely amazing.
He did everything. Does he have a National Aeronautics and Space Administration level PC to render that too?
That's impressive. It takes dedication, and we won't stop at the Milky Way. We'll go further. We want every single trace of material existence in the universe, and for that, we only have 200 trillion more to go.
Vinicius Jr. Creep's weakest follower doing reconstruction.
The stars were leaving. Now, an interesting question arises and deserves to be raised. How are we going to build, for example, a nebula or a black hole?
Wow, hold on. I hadn't even thought about that, man. The universe is really big, as big as my heart.
Get out of here.
An entire galaxy or anything similar, we can barely manage our own solar system. Still, we have a plan. We can't recreate the whole universe in one Minecraft map, but we can still achieve something impressive. The next build will be done at the same scale as in real life.
Oh no, that's impossible. I think that's just crazy. He probably didn't study physics. How would he even know all the planet's sizes? Not even Einstein, who was the greatest soccer player in the world, knew the size of all the planets. You know what I mean? I think this guy is fake news. This guy is humiliating me so much. The guy is making the planet, man. And to this day, I'm still trying to make an infinite stone and wood farm.
Interesting point Piozinho made about knowing all the planet's sizes. We can't really know, but we can estimate the size of the ones we analyze. That's what Chris did. He studied certain structures.
The planet supported me, and I was overweight, fat. Now imagine, the planet supports millions of people. He goes there and builds not just the planet, but the universe. I can't watch this video. There's too much craziness going on here for me.
Anyway, he came back and got to work. Our hero chose linear structures to design the new entity's initial layout, as he had with Earth. With the goal of making everything exactly the same, this time he will build a nebula. After days of intense work, some clouds of space gas were already forming, making the nebula even more realistic.
Man, it's like that. It's because Minecraft is all blocks too. But these guys have a talent, a design sense, something like that. That's out of the ordinary, man. I can't imagine the amount of textures he used, the amount of time. This guy probably doesn't have a girlfriend and lives hidden in a cave. His mom calls out, "Hey son, are you there?" And he replies, "No mom, I'm making the planet."
Wow, who's this? He's a real stud. Even if he wasn't, do you think there's anything sexier than saying you built the whole universe in a block game? I don't think so. Picture this guy at the party. "Hey girl, did you know I built the whole universe in Minecraft?" Here's an interesting fact. What he's building is actually over 1,000 times larger than our solar system. Chris admitted he never imagined Minecraft would get this big. Since we're building galactic entities far more powerful than we can imagine, not just planets. It's also interesting that the nebula used every existing block for its construction.
This looks like that character over there. It looks like the purple Teletubby, man. Look at it and see if it doesn't look exactly like the purple Teletubby. Exactly the same.
Exactly the same, man.
It took 2 whole days of work just to paint the nebula before Chris could move on to the other elements of it. Remember that it also includes its stars, its rays of light, and many other objects that were painted with exactly the same precision as the image that was used as a reference. After all the hard work, the great nebula was ready.
Man, that's amazing. What an incredible job. I feel embarrassed to ask you guys for a like on that video I made building my house. Man, it must be so ridiculous. I feel tiny next to this. It's gigantic. Probably the largest build Minecraft has ever seen. Man, I'm sure. Then you all check the comments. Look at this one, Pew.
Oh yeah, if you think that's big, then take a look at this one. For now, the progress of our universe was already around 40%, and that...
40%. Thanks, everyone. That's it for my channel.
That's a lie.
That really motivated the YouTuber to keep going on his journey, and the next task will be maybe the most challenging one so far. That's because we're talking about the most powerful object in the universe from which there's no way to escape, and it's much heavier than millions of stars combined. Yes, we're talking about a black hole.
Yeah, I doubt it. Guys, a hole. It's this hole in space, so YouTube doesn't demonetize my video, this deep hole. It's the densest thing on the whole planet, okay? I doubt he managed to do that.
Open quotes, the densest thing on the whole planet. Close quotes. What I really doubt is that they have it here on Earth. Why? If they did, things would get much more complicated for us. Finally, ready to be admired.
This is much better. This is much better than I imagine. This is the construction. Okay, construction, I think. The most satisfying one I've ever done. It's normal after watching Zinho build houses in Minecraft on YouTube. Go there to see real construction. And I still don't even know how to make a bread farm.
Which I've already done.
Now it's time to move forward and build something cosmic, shining as bright as Morena Automatica.
Back off, Levi.
We're talking about a galaxy. However, we won't limit ourselves to creating just one, but rather an entire set of these beauties. At this point, something interesting is that Chris no longer wanted to see galaxies just in pictures on the internet, but now he wanted to see them in real life.
He began the video just trying to create a planet and ended up a scientist. His name now is Minecraft Einstein. I wonder what goes through his mind after making the planet. That alone would have been amazing. What's his next video? What's bigger than our universe? Nobru's nose. Oh, and did you find anything hard for you to build? I bet you can't build Nobru's nose.
It won't work. See for yourself or use your own telescope. With that said, our warrior decided to climb a mountain located several kilometers high together with a friend in order to look at outer space through his telescope and get inspired to replicate the object in his Minecraft world. And a fun fact is that Ian, the friend who will be part of this adventure, was the first person Chris met in person after 2 consecutive weeks locked in his room working.
The guy who spent 2 weeks locked in his room building the planet in Minecraft?
Alright Piozinho, you were right. Maybe he is single. Single ladies from the channel, here's a great catch. And seeing what he wanted, quite the opposite. Through his telescope, he couldn't see anything. That's why our warrior went back home.
He bought a telescope on Shopee. He bought a telescope. Imagine buying one, climbing a high mountain, and then discovering it doesn't work.
He grabbed the computer and did more research and came to the conclusion that a sedentary life is much better. Minecraft was all you needed to see the universe. Finally, after all that, the YouTuber begins the ambitious Great Galaxies project. As usual, the beginning was complicated and took hours to build just one line. In short, our plan is to start by placing a few thousand blocks at the center of the galaxy. These will create its disc-like appearance.
What a beautiful thing, chat. Oh, chat, I'm not even live. What a wonderful thing. Man, this is a work of art. Seriously, we joke around because the video is really funny. But what a work of art, man.
After this, we'll add a kind of whirlpool or spiderweb to simulate the gases that stay around this. Xiaoxiu.
The gases, hold on. Fart sound effect. Help me out here, editor.
See that? He could have called Piozinho for inspiration about the gases. However, there's still a problem. As it is, the structure still looks pretty realistic. And the only way to make it look like real life is to use the lighting tricks that were used on the other objects. If that fails, the whole galactic project will have to...
So, there's no point in building this in survival mode, right? I wanted to build it here in survival. Crap, Nilchi.
I'll make a promise. If he builds the universe in survival, I swear I'll make a video series following Piozinho's saga. It's said there's no going back.
Good, Manuel.
You'll only be able to see... Yeah, you'll only be able to see one show. Power swirling through space. Level 2. Boom.
So far, we have created the entire celestial structure that makes up our experience in this universe. Now it's time to see if these constructions can withstand the force of the cosmos.
Now, just like when Chris Brown saw Naldo for the first time. Oh shit, it's Naldo. Beautiful thing, man. Look, this looks like a foot, huh? Look, this looks like a foot. See? Even the planets are selling foot pictures. this is real, man. What a bad job.
Our last step will be to create a structure that will be a replica of our universe seen entirely from a certain angle. First, we need to create a large bright bubble that from a distance resembles a spiderweb with several...
I'll stop here. This was a big humiliation for me since I still don't know how to make an automatic farm. Cool video. And honestly, guys, EIMINE's channel is in the description, okay? And the channel that made this masterpiece also has to be there, man. The guy is a god. He created Minecraft. He created Mojang. The guy is a god, man. This guy, I'm speechless. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Go ahead and leave your like and comment what you want me to react to in the next video. Because this one was really awesome, man. Thanks, guys. Just keep grinding. Thanks.
As you can see, the guy even stopped watching. It was a big humiliation, especially for those unable to make a bread farm. Jokes aside, I'm really grateful to Piozinho for reacting to the video. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram, OImean77. Hope everyone stays healthy.